Every welder has different pulse frequencies. Some people pulse, some people don't. Everyone's got a very personalized way of putting these bikes together. How I do it, and I've looked to what I view as the industry leaders and how they operate in their process, because we can all learn from each other. But basically I've got a two-step process. The frame is tacked initially, and those tacks, how I do it, are fusion pass. You're melting thicker material onto thinner material in very select places and orientations to get the frame tacked. I'll then let that cool, take it out the jig, put it on the alignment table. The alignment table is just a final check before we get carried away and start fusing the whole frame together to see if there's any discrepancies. Generally, where I'm using 3D printed parts, my fit up is pretty accurate now, so it's not really an issue, but everything needs a little bit of checking. Once we've done that, back into the jig, fill the frame with argon gas on the inside, so the whole frame is filled. We purge any oxygen out of the frame using the argon gas, and then we're into welding. But we're still not using rods. It's a fusion pass, and the fusion pass goes around the whole frame, and basically we slowly work our way around the frame, continually rotating it to minimize heat distortion, and we fuse the thicker tubes to the thinner tubes. That's quite a nerve-wracking process for me, and I'm sure if any of my peers or the pros are watching this, you'll probably be pissing yourself laughing, thinking what's all the fuss about. But I think for me, I still find that the scariest part of building, because a moment's lapse in concentration is enough to cause damage. And yeah, you could go over it with a rod and fill the hole, but that's not how I operate. I've had two bikes where I've scrapped them because I've decided that I haven't done a good enough job on the fusion pass and I'm not happy to let them go out. And I think when you're a big commercial operator, that's not really viable, but at my level and the standards I'm trying to work to, that's how we roll around here. If it isn't good enough, it doesn't go out. And I think I've had to learn a bit of humility over the years and eat a couple of big slices of humble pie along the way, in terms of, shit, I've cocked the whole thing up with that one lapse in concentration, that little bit of cockiness where you think you can just get away with something or you can just go on a bit further. Bosh. So fusion pass is done, the frame's cooled in the jig. I'll generally go for a cup of tea and a bite to eat. And then we're into the next phase of welding. And that's when we then come back in, we fill the frame back up with argon, and then we introduce the filler rod. The filler rod is 6.4 titanium. Everything to do with these bikes has to be high grades of titanium, pure titanium. I'm building in 325 tubes with 6.4 3D printed parts. And then we introduce the filler rod. So now we have the second pass on the welding. And that's what people are more accustomed to seeing, is the kind of stack of dimes look that you see in TIG welding. So we introduce filler rod and we work our way around the frame, slowly doing little bit, and moving around the frame. We don't go in long runs because that distorts the tubing really badly. And when we're completely done with that, then we're done welding. Maybe you might stop, weld a few little small things in like bottle bosses and any other cable lug attachment points if it's a cable driven bike. Once that's done, frame's left to cool in the jig, job done, welding's done.